Welcome to Chapter 8 and 9 Exam Review. Question number 1. A company had net sales of $29.9 and ending accounts receivable of $4,300 for the current period. Its days sales uncollected equals what? And you're supposed to use 365 days for a year. So the formula would be ending accounts receivable, which would be $4,300, divided by net sales, which is going to be $29.9. That result is then multiplied times 365 to give you 52.49 days. Question number 2. The following information is taken from Reagan Company's December 31st balance sheet. You have all these accounts with their balances, and that's as of 12/31. It says if net credit sales for the current year were $608,000, the firm's days sales uncollected for the year would be what? Well, ending accounts receivable of $73,922 from up here, divided by $608,000, which were the credit sales. That result multiplied times 365 gives you 44.4 days. Question number 3. If a check correctly written and paid by the bank for $794 is incorrectly recorded in the company's books for $749, how should this error be treated in the bank reconciliation? Well, it wasn't enough taken out. The check was really for $794 and the company only recorded $749. So you need to deduct an additional $45 from the book balance. So the detailed explanation would be too little was deducted from the cash account, and that must be subtracted from cash. Number 4, if a check correctly written and paid by the bank for $402 is incorrectly recorded in the company's books for $344. Now look, notice the actual check was $402. The company only recorded $344. How should this error be treated on a bank reconciliation? Well, you should subtract $58 additional dollars from the book balance because we didn't take off enough from the cash account on the books, and so you got to subtract it. Question number 5. During the month of September, Norris Industries issued a check in the amount of $912 to a supplier on account. That would be on accounts payable. The check cleared the bank during September. The disbursement was recorded incorrectly as $919. Notice we recorded it for too much. It should have been $912. We recorded it for $919. The journal entry to correct this mistake when discovered will include a what? Well, the journal entry should be a debit to cash for $712 and a credit to accounts payable for $712. That would be putting the cash account and the accounts payable account back to the correct amounts. Number 6. In the process of reconciling its bank statement for April, Donahue Enterprises accountant compiles the following information. So we got all this information right here, and what we're looking for is the adjusted cash balance per books on April the 30th. Okay, we're going to go through this list and see everything that affects the bank reconciliation on the books side. So cash balance books per books on April at the end of April will be $61.90. So we'll start with the book balance of $61.90. Deposits in transit, that has nothing to do. That's going to be something you put on the bank side of the reconciliation. Outstanding checks, that's also something that's going to be recorded on the bank side of the reconciliation. Bank charge for printing checks, $130. That's something that we don't know about until we get a bank statement. So therefore, the bank knows about it, but we don't know about it on the book side. So we're going to take that $130 and subtract it over here from the book balance. And then it says a note and interest collected by the bank on Donahue's behalf for $600. Again, the bank knows about that immediately, and we won't find out about that until we see our statement. So we're going to adjust the book side, and we're going to add that to the book side because that's something that the bank is doing for us. They're collecting a note from a customer. And then finally, a check paid to Donahue during the month by a customer is returned by the bank as NSF. That means non-sufficient funds for $650, and that means that we thought it was a good check, and we have no way of knowing that it's not good. So what happens is when we get our bank statement, we see that when we added it to their books, now we're going to subtract it from our books to get the correct balance. So these three things were adjustments, and the adjusted book balance is now going to be $6,010. Number 7, in the process of reconciling its bank statement for January, Maui Clothing, or Max's Clothing, accountant compiles the following information. We got all these different pieces of information that would go on a bank reconciliation, and we're looking for the adjusted cash balance per books at January 31st. So we're going to start with the cash balance per books on January 30th of $51.25, and looks like we're going to skip number 7 because there is some errors right here in this adjusted cash balance per books. This looks like some kind of a software problem, but you had one just before this, number 6, that was just exactly like this one. So let's go on to number 8. Number 8, Ryan Company deposits all its cash receipts on the day they were received and makes all cash payments by check. Ryan's June bank statement shows $22,361 on deposit in the bank. Ryan's comparison of the bank statement to its cash account revealed the following. So when we compared that, we had deposits in transit of $22.50 and outstanding checks of $1,053. Additionally, a $46 check written and recorded in the company's correctly was recorded by the bank as a $64 deduction. The adjusted cash balance per bank record should be what? Well, we'll start with the bank balance as of our statement, which is $22,361 up here. That's what our statement shows. And then we're going to add deposits in transit of $22.50 from this. This is something that the bank doesn't know about yet, so we're going to have to add those. We're going to subtract out outstanding checks of $1,053 because the bank doesn't know about these either. And then it looks like we're also going to have to subtract, add an $18 for a bank error, and we'll have to call the bank first thing in the morning to get this cleared up, because it says the check written by this company for $46 recorded by the bank for $64. So it looks like we've got a $18 difference here that we need to straighten out with the bank. Question number 9. Claiborne Company deposits all cash receipts on the bank on the day that they receive them and makes all cash payments by check. At the close of business on May 31st, its cash account showed a debit balance of $23,025. Claiborne's May bank statement shows $20,600 on deposit in the bank. Determine the adjusted cash balance using the following information. So we have deposits in transit of $7,000, outstanding checks of $5,800, bank service fees not yet recorded by the company $85, and NSF check from a customer not yet recorded by the company $1,140. So let's reconcile these things. We're going to see what the bank doesn't know about, what the books doesn't know about, and see if we can come up with a reconciled balance. So according to this information, the bank statement showed $20,600. So we'll put this over in the bank side. And also on the bank side, we've got deposits in transit of $7,000. Also, we've got, that's something the bank doesn't know about. Outstanding checks, they don't know about those yet because they haven't cleared the bank yet, so we're going to subtract those. And then we're going to take our book balance. Looks like I had a book balance of, according to this, of $23,025, and we're going to subtract the bank service fees of $85. We're also going to subtract this NSF return check for $1,140 that was right here. And then when we take the beginning balance and add the in transits and subtract out the checks, we get $21,800 on the bank side. And when we start with the book balance and subtract off the bank service charge or bank service fees and the NSF return check for $1,140, we also get $21,800. Now number 10. Franklin Company deposits all cash receipts on the day they are received and makes all cash payments by check. At the close of business on August 31st, its cash account showed a debit balance of $17,162. Franklin's August bank statement shows $17,437 on deposit in the bank. This is just like the last problem. Determine the adjusted cash balance using the following information. Well, we're going to start with the $17,162, which is the balance per books, and we're also going to have the bank side of $17,437. That's going to come over here. Then we're going to look at deposits in transit. That's something the bank doesn't know anything about, so we're going to add those. Also outstanding checks, the bank doesn't know about those, so we're going to subtract those. And then we've got bank service fees of $90 that the bank service fees not yet recorded by the company, so we're going to subtract those. And the bank collected a notes receivable not yet recorded by the company for $1,365, so we're going to add that. And when you combine all these pieces on the book side, you get $18,437. All the pieces on the bank side of this reconciliation, you get $18,437. Okay, number 11. Easton Company deposits all cash receipts on the day they're received and makes all cash payments by check. At the close of business on June the 30th, its cash account showed a debit balance of $63,209. This is just like the last one, so we're going to start with our bank reconciliation form, and we'll say on the book balance is $63,209. Easton's June bank statement shows $60,749, so we'll put this on the bank side. And let's see what else. Determine the adjusted cash balance using the following information. Deposits in transit, $4,700. We will add those to the bank side. And outstanding checks, $22.25. We'll subtract those from the bank side. Check printing fee, not yet recorded by the company, $21. We will subtract this from the book side. And interest earned on account but not yet recorded by the company, $36. We will add that to the book side. And then we combine all these pieces, we get $63,224 on the book side, and all of these added together, combined together on the bank side, gets $63,224.